All right, so now they're going to kind of tell you how to use your calculator to do the same operations. And so we have to write it into augmented form. Then we're going to type that into our calculator. And so we're going to have a 2 by 3 matrix. And so that is kind of like what I did. Brought up A and hit enter, and that shows this. This is what this is. And so that's what our A is going to be. And so now we're going to do operations within it. And so that's the second column in our calculator. All right, so to get the one in the upper column, we're going to switch row one and row two. And so we're going to say row swap, and that's one of the options in our second column. And we're going to take row swap A and swap one and two, and we're going to put that back into A. And then we're going to say, okay, well, now what does it look like? Well, that's what it looks like now. So we basically just swap those two rows. Now to get a zero here, we multiplied this row by a negative 3 and added it to that row. And so that just says take multiply row and then add. So we're going to take a negative 3 times the matrix A, row 1, and then we're going to add it to row 2, and that's going to be our new A. And so that's what we get here. And if we remember, that's what we had in doing it by longhand. Now we're going to take 1/10 of that row, and now for some reason they have the wrong values here, so it doesn't look right, but it's negative 2, negative 7. So now we're going to take, and this is supposed to be a 10. I don't know what, they weren't doing very good here on their uh, values, so that was going to be just 10. I don't know why they did that. I think this whole step is probably wrong. That's probably what it is. This whole thing needs to be just deleted. That's why it's not there. So we're taking this and taking a 1/10 of A and then putting it back into the row 2, and that becomes our new row. Okay, so that's what we here have. Now we're going to take a positive 2 times this row, add it to that row to get a 0. So we're going to take a 2 times that row and add it. So that's the add row, and we have this is our final matrix. And so again, we get the 3, negative 2 as our solution, which is the same thing we got when we did it by longhand. All right, so that's how you can use row operations in the calculator to do it. Now, is it easier? I don't think so because you have to type a lot of stuff in. I think it's just easier to do it by hand and do it that way. Now, if you really want to check, you can do it with this, but that's kind of another point. Now, there's another way we can learn about how to do this as well later, but then you can use a row reduced echelon form, and that's what we'd get, and we get the same thing, and it just does it automatically. The whole thing, it goes from the beginning matrix, which was this one, you tell it to do row reduced echelon form, and it gets us straight to here, and we don't do any of the operations. And so we don't know what it did, but it gets us that final value. All right, let's stop there and come back for some more.